Hello everyone, this is Alex from ProjectFalconPunch. Welcome to another current conversation. I'm Alex, and here with me today is Andrew.
Hello.
And Dan.
Hello.
And today we've had a very surprising reveal of an upcoming Paper Mario game that is titled Origami King. So, this was just an out-of-nowhere announcement, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
I heard there was rumours of a new Paper Mario game that was going to be like in the style of Thousand Year Door, or just going to be a straight-up remake of Thousand Year Door. I don't know where this lineage is and if that is ever actually going to come out still. This seems like the same team that made Color Splash, essentially, or the same engine as well, that are probably making this game.
I think I heard rumours or saw them on Twitter all over the place and that, but I didn't know what much to think of it or look into it too much. But then, so obviously, yeah, I wasn't expecting it whatsoever, so it came right out of nowhere.
I was going to say, Andrew, you're like the biggest Paper Mario Thousand Year Door fan that I know.
Yeah.
I love that game. That's one of my favourite GameCube games, but like that is your favourite game of all time, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Paper Mario 2 is my favourite game ever made. I absolutely love it. I play it so many times a year and never get bored of it. You know, I can just keep going over and over. So it'd be nice to see a new one going back to a similar style, which obviously recent Paper Mario games haven't.
This announcement seemed to have made people's day. Like, it's cheered them up because it's an out-of-nowhere surprise that what the fans seem to be wanting after the last two games have turned out. I mean, I am like a huge Paper Mario fan to the point where a new Paper Mario is like on the scale of sort of like a new Zelda. It's like a big deal. And after Color Splash, it just made me think, after the backlash, will they listen to the feedback by what the fans want, like the old style? And by the look of it, it seems very promising.
Yeah, definitely.
I do think that this is definitely a step in the right direction, but there are also elements that sort of are red flags of like, oh, this is still the same team and there's still the same people that probably made Color Splash and Sticker Star, where there's still generic enemies and generic... I mean, we've got like a new baddie and whatnot, and the Origami King. They look kind of cool. Your partners are back, but having partners again, but you just have like a Bob-omb and a Goomba and a Koopa. Like, what happened to like Koops and Goombella? Like, characters that were of a certain Mario race, but they were unique in their design. This feels like one of the problems I had with Color Splash was, oh, here's a Toad, here's another Toad, here's another Toad. They had great witty dialogue, but none of them actually felt unique in how they looked and felt.
No.
So, and I'm worried that this is going to happen again with this game.
I was hoping for partners the first thing, and I did see these Bob-ombs and Bowser following you, and I was like cautiously optimistic about that.
There's a piece of artwork that shows Bowser Jr. and a bunch of other Mario enemies. Like, I think it's on the box art actually. Next to Mario, there's a bunch of characters that are Mario enemies that look like, I think they're going to be your partners, and one of them is Bowser Jr. So that's really cool having Bowser Jr. as a partner, because I don't think he's ever teamed up with Mario ever before in the past.
No.
It was a cool idea having partners back again, and maybe it'd be mechanically, making the game more interesting than Color Splash. But are they going to be unique characters that you'll remember for years to come? I'm not so sure right now.
Yeah, obviously the main villain, the Origami King, I can't remember his actual name. The main partner that follows Mario around, who's also Origami, is actually his sister, I think. And obviously interesting to see how the story develops that, I guess. Some of the stuff they were saying in the trailer, you know, the brief moments where you saw their dialogue, it's funny, and it's amusing, but like you say, where they've just got the sort of exact same design as any Mario enemy, and nothing like that design with loads of stuff added to it, obviously raises some concerns.
Yeah, I mean, I get the aesthetic at first will give you Color Splash vibes, although the visuals were the best part of Color Splash, to be honest, and the writing in particular was also a highlight of Color Splash. And I think Origami King will retain that. Like, when you see when the trailer starts, it says, your choice was paper thin. Oh, they're gonna keep up with the puns, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's the fact that you're teaming up with Bowser to defeat a greater evil, and I'm just like, this is what I've been hoping for since Super Paper Mario, because Sticker Star and Color Splash, it was Bowser, he's evil. This gives me hope there will be an in-depth, interesting story and nothing one note, to the extent of Sticker Star.
Two things that I loved about Color Splash, it was the art design, like I thought the game looked fantastic, and also the writing. I thought those were the two things. The story, as you say, no pun intended, or maybe actually, yeah, pun intended. The story was paper thin. It was not great, but the writing itself with the dialogue was really, really good in Color Splash, and I feel like that if they could bring back that great dialogue and maybe have some more in-depth story, like, you know, from Super Paper Mario had probably the best story of the series. Thousand Year Door had like the best characters and the best setting, and I feel like that if they could recapture the best elements of those two games, then this could be amazing. But I do feel like it's sort of falls somewhere short, somewhere in between of Colour Splash and Thousand Year Door. It's not going to feel quite there yet, but it's definitely an improvement by looks of things than over the last two.
Yeah, obviously the worry is a lot of people will, as they play the game, sort of just keep comparing it to the first two. Obviously Super Paper Mario in some ways as well. You obviously have to look at it as its own game, because it's not, I mean, most people are saying don't just want Paper Mario 2 in HD unless it was a remaster, obviously. Building upon that concept, but with its own new ideas, and some of them look really good based on what we see.
There's some cool mechanics that they're introducing into the world. Like, there's people have already made fun of the stretchy arms that the Paper Mario has, and it's like, oh, is there going to be a new character for arms? Because you got the arms announcement for Smash Brothers, and I think that apparently I've read that you use like gyro controls or something to move Mario's arms around and to grab and pull parts of the environment. So it looks like a lot of environmental sort of puzzles that that are back.
Yeah, because in Colour Splash there were some puzzles where you had to alter the environment, like cut a few bits of, like, say, the sky to enter a pathway. I think Origami King will maintain that kind of puzzle solving. Something we've not seen before, but hopefully it's not like on the gimmicky side where it's not fun.
Like, at first you worry if it will just be, are you just going to be stretching out your arms and pulling down things or pulling things off walls? But obviously we only see a few glimpses of it. The concept itself, especially say use the gyro controls, actually sounds really appealing.
Yeah, because some of the puzzle solving was great in Colour Splash, and I keep going back to that game, but that was the last game in the series, and I feel like that this game has a lot of similarities with it, good and bad. But like some of the puzzle solving was fun, and the environmental stuff was really interesting in Colour Splash, but then you'd have like really obtuse things, and that was a lot of Sticker Star's problems as well. We'd be like, where am I going now? What have I got to do? I've got to, like, it's almost like the old school adventure style things of, I've got this thing here, what do I do with it, and where do I put it? And I've got to use it in some really weird way that, why would I think to do that?
Yeah.
Like, the bosses in Colour Splash were, in my opinion, just a complete joke, because if the game does not make it clear enough that you need, like, a certain item to defeat it, and if you go into the battle without the item, well, you might as well just restart, because the boss will either become so overpowered, or he becomes so evasive you can't even hit him, so you might as well just get defeated in the battle, and that's not intuitive design. It's
not fun either.
It's punishing you for not playing the game before, and it's like, how am I supposed to know that, like, the balloons were supposed to, lift the submarine of Ludwig, or how am I supposed to know that, the camera's what stops Wendy? It's like, so I'm just praying that the bosses will be challenging, they'll be satisfying in Origami King. The bosses in Colour Splash, like PT Piranha, where you just had to use cards, those were the best bosses because you didn't have to use one item.
Yeah, that was like the best pun in the entire game, PT Piranha, and he was a tea in a teapot, and he was PT. That was a great pun. It was a fantastic pun. Also, welcome to the Colour Splash ripping on it review we're doing now. We're just going back to that old game, but it's kind of like that game was almost like how, as if you'd play like a Zelda game where you would go into a dungeon and you could miss getting the boomerang or something, but you could still fight the boss of the dungeon. You can't get to the boss without having that item, and I feel like that Colour Splash had that problem of, you can still get to the boss, but you might not have the key item you actually have to use. Yeah. It's not like the boss becomes harder, no, the boss is just invulnerable, and that was crap.
Yeah, would it be a problem if the boss was still beatable without the item?
Yeah.
But the fact that it makes it required, and even if you do know what the item is, it doesn't feel like a challenge, it doesn't feel like something, you earn or something. Even though the boss battles, I'm hoping will be better, one of the other aspects that we're also praying that will be better will be the battle system. And the fact that I'm not seeing cards and stickers is automatically a good sign.
Yeah.
And there's an audience in the battles, like the ring battle system. What's your stance on the ring battle system from what you've seen?
Obviously unique in its structure. Obviously we don't really know anything about it yet. We've only just seen the short glimpses of it. The audience being there is cool. It's obviously a visual thing. Obviously we don't know if they'll actually interact with the battle, whereas in Paper Mario 2, obviously the audience cheering influence your star power, and certain events in the battle involve the audience as well. As I say, I'm curious to know more about how it all works basically, and we don't want to see any sort of cards or stickers. I mean, at this point, if that was still a thing,
so it's gone back to like the style of the original Paper Mario games. It's turn-based and you don't have cards and that, but like you've got this weird ring system where you can like move the environment around in the ring, and you can move the Goombas into a line, and then you can jump on them. So there's definitely like a lot of depth there, but to be honest, just having this weird grid here, I don't know if I'd really like that. Like, just the idea of it just doesn't seem that appealing to me. This could be just completely me not wanting new things, and I just want to go back to the old style of Paper Mario 1 and 2. But I do look at that and think, okay, this looks better than what we had in the last couple of games, but this isn't exactly what I want. But again, I'm open-minded to the point where I at least want to see if it works, because it could work, really well.
This is just me being speculative, but based on the multiplayer system that was in the trailer, it could be something like, maybe it could have some combos involved, or, like when you jump on a line of enemies, and maybe you have to strategize for it. And I have a good feeling this battle system will be solid, like, no pun intended, if the cards are played right. And even though partners are not seen in the battles, again, my guess is that maybe they'll include them as like a support role, because maybe including them with you is a bit too elaborate, because at the end of the day, Paper Mario is aimed at a younger generation than just the 20-year-old fans like us. So there's got to be some compromises, or there's got to be some, like, pleasing both sides. In fact, that's how I feel Origami King will be in the end. Like, it's trying to appeal to the new fans, but it's also trying to, like, win back the old fans with, say, the partner system, or omitting what people didn't like about Sticker Star Color Splash.
Yeah, Sticker Star, I really liked the look of it first, but obviously that was the very first change with the RPG formula still, because obviously Super Paper Mario was something completely different in a way. And then Color Splash, I tried it because I love Paper Mario, I wanted to see what it was like, but I wasn't 100% confident, because even though I was willing to give it a chance, a formula many people didn't like, Nintendo were happily reusing again, and in the end I didn't really like it. But this one, where it looks a lot different from Paper Mario 2 still, I'm still interested to see what comes of it.
Yeah, but even though you play like Thousand Year Door like 6 times a year or something,
60,
you're still willing to give like the... I mean, you disliked Sticker Star Color Splash, but not because, it wasn't Thousand Year Door. You disliked it because there was some legit problems with the game that got in the way of your enjoyment.
Obviously a lot of people are getting Color Splash vibes simply from just looking at it at first, because obviously it has the same art style, but Color Splash art style I absolutely loved. Like, some people say it overuses the paper aesthetic, but it's called Paper Mario at the end of the day. But it does it really well. It doesn't just lazily make everything paper, or it's like thick bits of cardboard or bigger objects.
Does everyone remember the Rochambeau Temple from Color Splash?
Yeah, is that?
Vaguely,
Oh yeah, the Rochambeau. Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, again, on paper, that was like, ooh, this sounds like a fun little minigame. No, it isn't. It randomizes it, and, it's just like a dumb rock, paper, scissors thing. And the quiz show was bad, and I could name, like, a bunch of things I didn't like Color Splash, but there was a bunch of things I loved about it, legitimately. Like, it had some great writing, it had some good character moments, some of the card combat was really satisfying, and it's like a mix of something I love and something I really dislike. So, with Origami King, it's the consistency that matters the most. Like, I want a consistently good Paper Mario game, just like Thousand Year Door and the older ones.
The other ones, yeah, the first one and the second and the third one, and then that's it. This has become a series now where we have 3 great games, 2 bad games, or 2 average to bad games, and then we have now a new one. Like, we could get to a point now where we're getting like the Star Wars of like, we got 3 great things to begin with, and then the rest of it's downhill from now.
No.
I hope not. Yeah.
No, please no.
By the way, the reason why I did Sticker Star 2 essentially with Color Splash was because Sticker Star actually sold really well. That was the reason why they did that with Color Splash. And then Color Splash sold poorly, mainly because it was a late Wii U game, but also because it was Sticker Star again, and people were burnt on that last game. So this isn't like the same that we really want, but it's not like the crap from the last 2.
Like, surely the YouTube dislikes on the Color Splash trailers surely was enough of a hint for the developers to revamp it entirely for Origami King.
Yeah, and it sucks, right? Because there's so many people, hard-working people on these games, and then they probably are excited to unveil it, and then like Color Splash, and then it gets massive amount of dislikes. And I know not first-hand, but second-hand, that can be such a morale killer in the office when you're close to finishing a game, you unveil the trailer, and then the fans hate it, and you're like, well, I don't want to finish this game now. I feel like we're going the wrong direction. Clearly, no one wants this game.
It's kind of like with Federation Force, where it was poorly marketed, but I can't imagine how an Excellent Games must have felt with the immense backlash after working so hard on it.
Yeah, and on top of that, Next Level Games, if you want to go down this road as well, they pitched multiple Metroid games even before Federation Force, like actual Metroid games, and they got turned down. So that's the one that got greenlit. that must be really fucking horrible.
As we're recording this, the Origami King trailer has 95,000 likes and 1.9k dislikes on the trailer on Nintendo's official YouTube. So it's like a reverse situation of Color Splash. A lot of people seem to really like this idea.
It's cool, but I will admit that I am slightly disappointed that it isn't just more of what I want, and also not just Thousand Year Door, or even the first Paper Mario, like a remake. Because could you imagine even one of the first 2 Paper Mario games remade in HD visuals?
That would be bliss.
If they remade Paper Mario 2 with like this aesthetic, they would have to announce it like maybe the day before it comes out. Otherwise, I would not be able to sleep for
You would do a
months.
Cartman style thing and want to freeze yourself. Like,
Exactly. Pretty much, yeah.
To be honest, I'm kind of surprised they haven't re-released the old Paper Marios now, because, I mean, if they got Origami King in development, I'd have thought maybe they were, let's say, release Thousand Year Door remastered to new people, fans of the older style, and then release Origami King. You know, like how the Switch has revitalized a bunch of Nintendo franchises like 3D Mario, Mario Odyssey, Zelda with Zelda Breath of the Wild. Maybe like Origami King could be like Paper Mario's answer to the ambitious route, but again, this is just speculation.
I hope so. I really hope so. This is my prediction, and I'd love to be proven wrong. I think that this game will fall somewhere in the middle of not quite amazing, great A-class tier of the first 3 games, but it's not going to be quite like D-list, wow, what the fuck were they thinking of the last 2? I think this will fall somewhere in the middle.
I'm always hesitant what to think, not necessarily because of I think parts look bad. I'm really interested to see more of it, but because obviously what the series has been like the last 2 installments, can't help but feel pessimistic at times, no matter how good some parts of it may look.
And I bet it will be similar to Super Paper Mario, where it's like, it's not as good as 64 Thousand Year Door, but I think it'll be on the level of Super Paper Mario, but not to like the low tier standard of Sticker Star and Colour Splash.
Yeah, I hope so.
Shall we wrap it up here?
I think so.
Is that another paper pun?
Alright, so that concludes our initial thoughts by looking at the Paper Mario Origami King trailer. Again, it looks promising, we're hopeful it's good. We're going to keep an open mind and remain cautiously optimistic, like what Dan said. Thank you so much for joining me on this initial reaction, Dan and Andrew.
No worries.
You're welcome.
Yeah, like, honestly, the moment I saw this, I just messaged Andrew about this because he is a massive Thousand Year Door fan, so I was like, you gotta get a load of this!
My closest friend, his favourite game is Paper Mario 2 as well. So straight away I sent a text to him saying, you have to see this. And he was like, oh Christ, yeah.
Yeah, and plus as well, we only got 2 months to wait, so it's not long to go until we find out what it's like, so we'd have to wait like end of the year. So yeah, we'll definitely see you all in 2 months to see what we think of it.
Certainly.
Put Paper Mario and Super Smash Brothers, damn it.
Oh, hell yes, I'd be down in that.
Fighter Pass 2, Paper Mario, let's go.
Should have been in there by now, yeah.
Yes!